and thank you for joining us here on Halton News. It's Monday, June 15th, and I'm Jessica Kading. There are currently 102 active cases of COVID-19 in Halton. You may notice that there's one less death noted than before, and the region says that was a result of a reporting error that has since been corrected. Breaking it down by municipality, you can see that there are currently 27 active cases in Burlington, 33 in Oakville, 32 in Milton, and 10 in Halton Hills. If you're concerned that you may have been exposed and want to get tested or have any other COVID-19 related questions, you can call 311 for assistance. Premier Doug Ford announced today that Halton will officially enter Phase 2 of reopening the economy starting this Friday. This means that outdoor dining at restaurants and bars will once again be an option. You'll finally be able to get that much anticipated haircut or color service, and shopping malls will also be able to reopen under existing restrictions. Outdoor splash pads and swimming pools will be allowed to open, as well as beaches and campgrounds. It's worth noting that Hamilton and Niagara are also entering Phase 2 come this Friday. Tasting and tours of wineries, distilleries, and breweries will once again be permitted. For a full list of what will be permitted in Phase 2, please visit ontario.ca and search Phase 2. It was just on Friday that the Halton Regional Chair Gary Carr and all 4 mayors in Halton wrote a letter to the Premier urging him to allow Halton to enter Phase 2. So we followed up with Mayor Marianne Meed Ward of Burlington today for her reaction to the announcement.
Well, our restaurants in particular, our hospitality sector, salons, those have been the hardest hit through this pandemic because their services can't be replaced virtually, literally in some cases a haircut. But, you know, the restaurants can't make up the volume that they would need to pay their bills through curbside pickup alone. So I know this is great news for them. And some have been teetering on the edge of closing for good. And so this announcement will mean that they can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, you know, I think it's key to say that this is all with the caveat that we're going to do this safely. We're going to protect staff in establishments that open. We're going to protect residents. We've figured out social distancing in some of our other places of business that have been able to reopen. So really no business should be opening if they can't protect their staff and their customers. But those that can, they should be allowed to open, and they will be.
I asked how soon we can expect city facilities to reopen, such as splash pads and swimming pools.
So we're still having to figure out the regulations that haven't been yet released by the province and work with our medical officer of health in terms of how to safely open those. It's a little easier with our outdoor pools and some of our splash pads at outdoor pools that are fenced because we can control access and volumes. And that's one of the key recommendations from the medical officer of health, is to make sure that you can control how many people can be in any one place, have an attendant on site to ensure physical distancing of all the patrons that are inside. It's a little tougher when you have splash pads, for example, in Spencer Soup Park that are not fenced. And we don't want to put up a fence, but we need to figure out a way, either timed entry or, maybe even just those, I call it the VIP red ribbon fences between the bollard poles, where we can encourage people to check in at a singular area with an attendant and then come in so we can manage numbers. But, we want to open the service to our community. We have been working on that. Council approved that last Thursday with some extra resources. But we want to make sure that we can protect our community that want to use those facilities before we open them.
Burlington's beach is also open to enjoy, but the mayor does ask that you continue to be conscious and careful to socially distance.
So the beach is available for people to use. We still ask people to respect physical distancing with one exception. So there's 2 areas that remain fenced. One is the pavilion down on the Beachway Strip, because it was already on our capital list for renovation. There's some areas in the wood that are rotting through, so it's not safe for folks to be there. So that, just the pavilion, but it looks like the beach is fenced off. It's not. There's other access points. And the other area is the small sand beach right near the pier, right downtown at the foot of Brand Street. The water level is really high there, and sometimes the sand gets washed away. So there is a significant elevation drop. So that's fenced off. We're asking people to stay off of that area for now for their own safety.
Another Black Lives Matter march in Oakville Saturday saw hundreds of protesters march right in the streets downtown, one of whom was Tavon Henry, a teen who said he could no longer stand by and let racism continue. He took the time to share his story with us, what it was like for him to grow up in Oakville, and his hope for change.
No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
My name's Tavon Henry. I'm 19. I grew up in the town of Oakville, Ontario. I currently live in Milton. I'm a student. I'm going to Guelph University in the fall, and I'm the middle child in a family of 6.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
I took part in the protest because I thought it was kind of my duty as a person of color. While I was growing up in Oakville, I was one of I believe 4 black kids in the entire school. So I was very much different than a lot of people around me for sure. So I kind of just did my best to fit in. When I first realized that I was different, it was around the first day of kindergarten for sure. I met a young girl, and the next day I was told I couldn't play with her because her father said he didn't want me playing with her because I was black. A lot of times in my childhood, I didn't really feel normal until I started to really accept myself. It was kind of I felt abnormal for sure.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
The protest was great to me. I've never been to a protest as large as this for sure, and as vocal as this for sure. And to see the amount of people in the neighborhood that weren't a part of the protest, but that came out of their house to watch and were very supportive of it, it was very great and inspiring to see for sure. That moved me a lot. This does give me a lot of hope, because I believe in the past when a black person was killed in the past, a lot of black people made an uprising and made themselves heard. A black person was killed almost a month ago, and everyone is concerned and everyone is involved. So I believe that now that we have everyone and not just people of color, now that everyone's on the same page and everyone feels the same way and everyone's willing to make the same amount of effort to create change, I think it will create a lot of change for sure. My parents are more than proud for sure. Even with the madness going on in the world, they believe that fighting for something so much stronger and bigger was something they had to let their kids do for sure.
No justice, no peace. No racist.
The people moving and marching with us can definitely be the people and leaders of the future for sure, because we have a new world that we would like to see take place in the future, and we are definitely capable, like you saw at the march, of making sure that happens.
No justice, no peace. No racist police.
Ontario's Minister of Finance, Rod Phillips, and the Ontario Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade were in Oakville. MPP Stephen Crawford joined them on a tour of Canadian Hospital Specialties, which is a local producer of personal protective equipment. Meanwhile, Oakville's MP, Anita Anand, was joined by local business owner Doug Eglinton, chairman of Euroline Appliances in Oakville, to address the federal government's economic supports in response to COVID-19 and how it's benefited local businesses.
As the PM and I were both able to address earlier today, businesses here in our region, like Euroline Appliances, have been able to keep their workforce on payroll as a result of the federal wage subsidy. For example, they were able to hire back their 22 employees in a matter of days once the Prime Minister announced the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy in late March. And they've continued to work in a modified manner through the pandemic. And I spoke with Doug Eglinton today, and he was very grateful for the wage subsidy, but also hopeful that we will be able to continue offering it. And the PM said this morning that he will be making an announcement later this week relating to the subsidy.
It was a Facebook Live event this morning where MP Anita Anand learned more about Euroline Appliances' experiences through the pandemic.
Because we are still in stage one, I made sure that we had our conversation virtually, and it was a wonderful interchange. And I was able to speak with Doug about Euroline and the experiences that they have had with the wage subsidy. And it is a business that's been in Oakville for 34 years and so important to our economy that these longstanding businesses of all sizes are able to remain functional. And that is what our government has been trying to do over the last few months. That is to make sure that when the economy reopens, that businesses haven't been run into the ground, but rather they're able to restart and reopen. And that's exactly the case with Euroline. So it was wonderful to speak with Doug this morning. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what the Prime Minister has to say with regards to the wage subsidy later this week.
Justin Trudeau announced that the federal government will extend the CERB. More details are to come on Friday, and more small businesses will now be eligible for the Canada Emergency Business Account as well. I'd like to thank you for being with us here on Halton News. We do need to take a short break, but we'll be right back with a preview of what to expect from the Halton Environmental Network at the Oakville Festivals of Film and Art this year. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. This upcoming Saturday, the Halton Environmental Network is screening films in the Oakville Film Festival. Even though the film festival is virtual this year, the event does come complete with a Zoom Q&A with the filmmakers and environmental scientists after the films. Nikki Wesley has more.
The Halton Environmental Network has a uniquely local contribution to the virtual Oakville Film Festival on June 20th, starting at 10 a.m. I spoke with Program Manager Afreen Gauss to find out more.
Is a worldwide screening of Caring for Our Climate, and it highlights amazing documentaries and shorts that have an environmental focus, and we're hoping that it's going to educate viewers about not only problems that are being experienced worldwide, but at a local level as well, and hopefully it'll give some inspiration.
But why is environmental inspiration important when there are so many things happening in the world, like the pandemic?
The pandemic, obviously it is a very big humanity issue that we're currently experiencing with this virus, but it shouldn't be a time that we forget about the other problems that are happening. It shouldn't put us at a standstill. So with the environment, it's something that we will continuously need no matter what for all of our future generations.
The films featured in the screening highlight environmental issues not only around the world, but here in Halton as well, including the winning films by high school students in last year's Halton Green Screen Festival. This will also be a premiere screening for Halton resident and U of T professor Dr. Romila Verma's Canadian documentary, Water Be Damned. Take a look at the preview.
The first thing is that we are so disconnected from the spirituality and philosophy, the ethical aspect of water, which is actually quite a paradox because we need water. Water is life. It sustains everything on this planet, and that's why it's a blue planet. Yet at the same time, the way we treat water, we not only disregard it, I feel that sometimes we don't even see water. It's kind of an invisible thing. We take it for granted.
Tickets for the June 20th event can be purchased at their website. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Beautiful sunshine out there today. Here's a look out from Rattlesnake Point in Milton as we get to our 5-day weather forecast. Sunshine expected throughout the week, and it will get quite hot. Our UV index is very high and will remain so throughout the week, all the way up to 32 degrees as our high on Thursday. Some clouds will return by Friday, but that heat is expected to stay with us at least through the weekend. This week, the Oakville Chamber is hosting a conversation on managing a virtual film festival. Join Chair of the Board Tim Cadigan as he discusses the upcoming OFFA Online Film Festival, with the people on your screen right now. To watch, you can tune in right here on your TV as we go live, or you can watch on the Chamber's Facebook page. The Burlington Chamber of Commerce invites you to celebrate and honor their 21 finalists at this year's 2020 Business Excellence Awards Gala presented by RBC. This will be a virtual gala and a truly one-of-a-kind experience. The ticket includes your choice of a 3-course meal out of 9 that you can choose from, as well as a curated gift bag and access to the live production, of course. For more information and to get your tickets, please visit burlingtonchamber.com. And now a look to how our local markets closed out today. We do need to take another short break. We'll be back and try to get you motivated after this. Welcome back to Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading. Dr. Bhattacharya has some advice now for those of you looking to get motivated and stay motivated. Here are some important points to consider as you try to reach your goals.
Hi, this is Dr. Ashok Bhattacharya speaking to you from the Empathy Clinic in Oakville during the pandemic crisis. So a lot of people ask me about motivation. How do I get motivated? Very common question. Motivation is a combination of 3 things: ambition, drive, and having a goal. So for a lot of people, it's finding a way to get themselves off the couch and out of the house and into their goal. It's important to have a reward system. Maybe you can sit down or ask your friends, what rewards you? What makes you want to do something that you don't want to do? Make a list of that, it's really helpful. So before you start a task, write it down. Make it clear and pick small amounts when you write it down so they're achievable things that you can feel good about doing rather than getting miserable if you don't achieve your goal. The way I look at that is if I gave you a spoon to move a mountain of soil, you might say, I can't do that, that's way too much. But you know what? The minute you start, you're moving that mountain and you're starting to feel like you're already achieving your goal. Do the stuff that you don't want to do first. Get that stuff out of the way so the other stuff is easier and more pleasant to do. And most importantly, reward yourself. Do the things that are on that list that you've got before that make you feel good about what you've done. That way you can stay motivated and become a finisher. Stay safe. See you next time.
And thanks to your generosity, the Burlington Food Bank does have PPE supplies that they're helping to supply to those that need them. Let's take a look.
Hi, this is Robin Bailey, the Executive Director at the Burlington Food Bank, and today we just wanted to talk really quickly about masks, just because we've heard a lot in the news lately and just saying how much that helps. We have all of our volunteers wear masks or face shields just to keep themselves safe and those around them, which is even more important. We've had a few organizations really help us out quite a bit in being able to deliver masks to our clients, so we wanted to thank the Gazette Face Mask Initiative, along with St. Matthew's Church and the Aldershot Lions and the Burlington Seniors. They've all been part of this great initiative, and we really appreciate that. We've also had a few people make donations to us of masks, and we appreciate that as well. And the bigger one too is we've had a number of people that are actually making masks and then selling them and then donating the funds to us. So we wanted to thank one of our regular volunteers, Noreen Hollingsworth, for doing that, as well as Denise Brawley just dropped off about $1,500 in masks that she sold, and we really want to thank her and all of those who've purchased masks through her and just being able to support us in that way. And so if you don't have a mask yet, make sure you go out there and get one. Make sure that we're all doing everything we can to try and curb this thing so that we can all get back together.
The YMCA of Oakville Wellness Product Drive is this upcoming Thursday, June 18th from 4 to 7 p.m. The goal is to assemble 300 wellness kits from the donated items that will be delivered to youth out of care, isolated seniors, individuals, families living in low-income neighborhoods, and homeless shelters. Items they need include shampoo and conditioner, soap, toothpaste, masks, sanitizer, gloves, and deodorant. To donate, just pull up to the designated contactless curbside drop-off area at the YMCA, pop open your trunk, and stay in your vehicle. A volunteer will retrieve the wellness products that you wish to donate and get them to the people in our community who need them most. The YMCA of Oakville is also hosting a live virtual Move for Kids Day event on Sunday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is part of their annual Strong Kids fundraising campaign. The live broadcast will happen on Zoom at scheduled times during the day and will feature staff from the YMCA of Oakville community. While the Move for Kids event is free to join and participate in, the YMCA of Oakville needs your help to ensure that they can reopen, so they do ask that you consider donating. Their goal is to raise $10,000. I'd like to thank you so much for watching tonight. If you'd like any more content, you can visit yourtv.tv. We're also available on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow us at YourTV Halton. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading. I thank you so much for watching, and we'll take a look at our schedule boards now.